Rather than focusing on just one topic this week, I thought I'd present you with something of a smorgasbord of what I've been up to that might be of interest. Or not, as the case may be, as there doesn't seem to be much rhyme or reason as to how many people bother to watch these little vignettes. As few as 15 for something about inheritance tax, and a truly international few thousand for my review of my evening with the ABBA avatars a couple of years ago. Now, I was in that area of London again this week for a sustainable investment conference hosted by EQ Investors, who look after money for some of you who are investing ethically, and as I'm sure I've told you, are probably the most ethical or certainly the most thorough in their research of the companies we recommend for this. Now, it was well attended, though nowhere near as well as the talk I went to by Neil Woodford. Remember him? After he launched his ill-fated fund. Thankfully, hearing him made me decide not to recommend it to clients, although it had the opposite effect on many, I know. Anyway, highlights for me this week at the EQ conference were that they are working to reduce the difference in performance at times between ethical, sustainable, responsible type funds and what we call conventional funds. How big banks like NatWest have whole departments now dedicated to issuing what they call green bonds or lending for renewables, for other socially good stuff. Now, at this conference, they were using new tech in that you had to submit any questions via an app, which did mean that mine were moderated out. Now, I'm one of those annoying people at these do's who finds lots of things to ask. I'm not sure, for instance, that we always want ethical funds to perform more in line with the rest. That's often not the point of them. And although I know it's not the bank's shares that these sort of funds are buying, I do wonder how the other stuff that's going on and has gone on in banks affects their views on them. For instance, there was a boycott Barclays march in London last weekend, protesting about their Barclays support for arms supplies to the Middle East. And both NatWest and HSBC have had big fines for money laundering in the not very distant past. Anyway, it was a good day, and I met and re-met some like-minded advisors and others, and former and current members of the Philip James Financial Services gang, whom it was great to see. Although on the way there, I did also meet the black cab driver from hell, who spent the journey telling me how pleased he was that Donald Trump had won the election and how he'd said, "Get out of my cab," to some punter who'd disagreed with him a couple of days ago. All my journeys after that were in green electric Ubers where the drivers never say a word. In other news, we have some ideas and recommendations for those who've been affected by the changes to inheritance tax on pensions, and also AIM portfolios, AIM investments, which we've recommended quite a bit as methods of reducing potential inheritance tax using business property relief, which has all changed. We've spoken to providers who've delved into the budget small print and given it some more thought ourselves. If it affects you, we'll be in touch soon, and we'll put some more in one of these missives in the not too distant future. And coming soon, and something else I've been working hard on this week, exciting news about changes here. My plans not to retire, in case you're either panicking or celebrating, and though I say it myself, a pretty good and pretty bold rebrand and relaunch to keep moving us forward. Watch this space. Have a good week.